All right. Hello, everyone. It's Kiki Strickland, the Matchmaker and Dating Coach. I don't like the color of the sweater. It doesn't do well with my skin color. Anyway, let's talk about this because it is hindering you from meeting your Mr. Right, or even if you've already met him, it might have destroyed your relationship with him. It could be causing you a lot of heartbreak, a lot of unnecessary drama. You don't need this in your life. And what it is you have not learned how to control your desires. And I want to hit on the bigger one second. First one, okay, I saw a post yesterday. The subject line was eat the cake. So it was all about, yes, doing everything that you want to do, not holding back, throwing out your diet and just basically living for the moment, which no, sorry, we cannot do that. Every now and then it might be okay. But no, you can't have the general attitude that I'm just going to live for today. I'm just going to do everything that I want to do. I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat. I'm going to live my life like there's no tomorrow. That is totally contrary to the word and detrimental to your health, your body, your spirit. You don't want to eat that cake, especially if you're trying to lose weight. If you're trying to get your body under control, then you have to exercise self-control. And unfortunately, I do see a lot of people, not just women, there's some men out there who, need to get their guts under control as well. And just actually try to lead a healthier lifestyle as far as what you eat. But especially if you're dating and you're looking to meet your Mr. or Miss Right, pay close attention to what you're putting into your body, what you're feeding it. If you have noticed the scale going up, if you have noticed your clothes are not fitting right, do something about it. In this day and age, there are lots of different options on losing weight. Definitely be exercising. A lot of you do not like to exercise and you don't do it, and you need to be moving your body in order to prolong your life. So please do not be one of these people that have not exercised in months. You have to be more concerned about your physical health than you are if you are never exercising. Park farther away at work so that you have to walk a little ways to get to your office. At least do that. You need to be doing at least 30 minutes of some type of movement each day. And I know for women, I don't know if this is the case for men, but probably so, but definitely for us ladies, when you are not in the best shape and you know that you don't look your best in your clothing, your self-esteem can plummet, and then you don't feel like meeting anybody. You don't feel like dating. You don't feel like going on dates. I remember years ago, I had a friend who said she had stopped dating because she had gained so much weight, but it's a cycle. Because she had gained so much weight, she didn't feel good about herself, so she wasn't dating. And then because she was lonely, she was probably eating more. So it's like, you got to get out of this cycle. So this is titled Exercise Self-Control. So that means do not overeat. But then also exercising self-control can mean getting in the gym or doing that exercise video or going on that long walk for your health. So you're exercising self-control by doing something, not just by not doing something. We could talk about that for days because I really believe that women should have a budget for your love life. And that can include doing Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers, whatever it's going to take to get you in the best shape that you can be in and to feel better about yourself, your body, your physical body, your spiritual and mental outlook. So use money if you have to use money. The only thing that I do not recommend you using money on for weight loss are those pills. I have never taken any of those pills. I'm not sure how safe they are. So I am not an advocate of taking a pill to get into shape. No, you can modify what you're eating, your diet. You can change what you're feeding in, cut out certain things, and do more movement. So that is the best way, I feel, to get into shape. Work with a personal trainer. I'm personally a member of Planet Fitness, Black Card. So I can go to any Planet Fitness, no matter where I am. And I use that membership because I'm getting older and I have noticed it's hard to keep my stomach flatter. So I have to do special things. So right now what I'm doing, just in case anybody's interested, I only eat a vegetable plate for dinner. So for breakfast, I have cereal really early. Sometimes I have a breakfast burrito, yogurt or some fruit, but usually cereal or oatmeal. And then for lunch, I like to do a salad or flatbread. But then for dinner right now, what I'm doing, just during the week, because on the weekends, cheat. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, what I have done is there's a restaurant in my area, and I go in there and I get a vegetable plate, and they give you such huge portions that it lasts you 4 servings, 4 different meals. So in this vegetable plate, they give you 4 sides. I get the kale, the cabbage, the stir-fried string beans, which has some onions and I think some red pepper in it, and then the zucchini squash mix. So on my plate for dinner, you are only seeing that 4 different vegetables. Every now and then I'll put some, I'll get their black-eyed peas, or I'll make some dark kidney beans, because I do like beans and you do need to get your protein. So that's it. No meat, no bread, no desserts during the week. On the weekends, I live it up. I can have dessert. I can have chicken, fish, even steak, but I haven't had steak in a while. So it's easier, I feel, to limit yourself for certain days, knowing that in a few days I'll be able to, have whatever I want. So, but even when I have whatever I want, I try not to overeat. Your body lets you know when you're full, but usually it tastes so good, we're going past that point. And so you definitely need to start stopping the eating once you're full. Don't keep going. Save it for later. All right. So that was one thing that I wanted to talk about. But the main thing that I really wanted to cover in this video is exercising self-control for your other desires. Yes, I know a lot of you are celibate, and that's wonderful. Please continue. Some of you are abstaining, but you are doing everything else, especially self-pleasuring. And while, yes, that is the lesser of the 2 evils, if you have fornication on one hand and then you have self-pleasuring on the other, we'll take the self-pleasuring for 200, Alex. But even with that, you have to start exercising self-control. You can't just, every time you get the desire, you can't just run with it. You need to be able to say no. You need to be able to say, not going there. So my Pastor Keith Battle of Zion Church just did 2-part series. So far it's been 2 parts, might be more coming, called It's a Trap. And sometimes you are really falling into a trap without realizing it, especially in this day and age where everything is so sexual. Women have come a long way as far as sex, and that's a good thing. We do know our bodies better in 2022. We're not ashamed that we have desires. We educate ourselves in that area. So yeah, that progress that has been made in the arena of sex is good. I'm not saying that if you're a normal red-blooded female, you should not be normal about these things. But it's gotten out of hand. And in this day and age, men have recognized they can't even depend upon the woman these days to stop things from going too far. And I think that is a shame. We have always been looked to as the virtuous woman, as the one with control. And I'm not seeing that a lot these days. The women these days are just as out there as the men are. I have I won't say family member, although she is an extended part of the family, and I've known her since we were kids. Every time she posts, I tell myself I need to unfollow her because it's always something very sexual. She's talking about the man's organ. Sometimes she even posts pictures of herself in lingerie, like she's trying to entice. I mean, I don't know what she's doing, but she's off the deep end and it doesn't look good. It looks kind of crazy. And she's probably just saying, well, I'm a liberated woman and I have desires. And yes, you are a liberated woman. And yes, you have desires. But do you want to be married? Do you want a man of substance to find you and to value you enough to make you his wife? It's probably not going to happen with those kind of posts, because if he's seeing those, what is he thinking about you? He's thinking, hey, here's a good time, girl. Yeah, I can call her up and we can have some fun. But is he really trying to make you his wife? So you want to think about these things. And I know you say, hey, I have desires too. Why should I hide that? I feel like ripping his clothes off. But you have to exercise self-control. If your end goal is to find the right fit for you and get married, you don't want to be put in the category of jump off, or as this is just the person I'm going to visit late at night because she says she has desires too. So, hey, no. If you listen to what men really want, yes, they want a woman who is going to be a great partner in that area, in the bedroom, but just for them. They don't want a woman who looks like she's sharing that with everybody. They don't want a woman that cannot exercise discretion in that area. If they feel like your number is too high, it's a double standard. You might have the same number that they have, but they're going to look at you in a different way because your number is that high. So don't go there with him. Even if you do feel like he's the one and you're hoping to get to a romantic level with him, you got to keep that part of you shut down. And there's even that song about, if you want me to expose that part, I think she says expose the freak. You can't show that to everybody. That should be for the one that is the best fit for you. And the two of you have already decided that it's just going to be you and him. And personally, I think you should wait for engagement at least. Wait for marriage if you can, but at least wait until the ring is on your finger before you're even going there. And so that might mean you have to have certain boundaries in place. You have to have a plan in place to not do this, not do these things with him late at night. I was talking about going camping with someone, a guy friend, and then I realized that's probably not wise. We're not going to be able to be in the same tent alone overnight. No, just don't do it. Just don't. Because yes, it's normal to have these desires for the opposite sex. And if you like the person, it's very normal for that to pop up really quick. And you have to make sure that you are a woman who has control over that area. And you're not going to be falling. We fall down and we get up. Don't fall down. Don't lay down with him. So control, it starts, you know how they say sex starts in the kitchen with the man doing nice things, helping her wash the dishes, it starts early. It starts in your mind. So you got to even control your thoughts about that. If you find yourself having dreams about this man, that probably means you need to start limiting your time with him. Unless, like I said, if you've already progressed to the engagement stage, that's different in my mind. That doesn't always lead to the actual marriage, though. So even with that, you got to exercise control and make sure that you are not putting yourself in compromising positions. You are not opening the door for things to happen. Listen to my pastor's message on It's a Trap, because you want to make sure you're not falling into a trap. And if you have been one that has not exercised self-control in this area or these areas, then repent and start afresh. And then in the future, make sure you are exercising more self-control and not allowing yourself to fall prey to any activity that you should not be involved in at this stage of your life, at this stage with him, at this stage of the relationship. And then I want to applaud those of you that are exercising self-control. A friend of mine, a new friend, told me that she has been celibate for 18 years. I was like, oh my gosh, 18 years. That's crazy. But actually, that's awesome. That is awesome. Most people can't do it for more than a year or two, and then they fall. So if you were able to maintain that long, then hey, there's nothing you can't do. And you are ready to be a wife. So, or maybe she's called to be a eunuch. I don't know. Because if you can go, if that area is not really a issue for you, then maybe you are called to singleness. Maybe the Lord has given you the gift of being a eunuch, someone who does not need companionship or sexual activity at all. I guess there are priests and nuns that are like that. Some priests and nuns are not called to be eunuchs, and that's why they have not been able to maintain their purity, because that was something that they chose and not a gift from God. So that's a whole nother story, another video. But again, kudos to you. I applaud you if you are celibate and you have maintained your celibacy for a long period of time. Great. Continue the good work. Can keep that up until you have found the right person that you are marrying. And wait till marriage, or wait as long as you can. And even if you have fallen and didn't wait, you can now start anew and say, hey, we're not doing that anymore. I understand if that means we have to break up, but I am taking the stance on celibacy. Like the word says, we should not be fornicating. So let's start over. No sleeping over. I mean, it's a hard thing to do. And 9 times out of 10, that other person is going to be upset with you if you try to pull that back. But hey, the word is on your side about it. And if you have to sit down and have a Bible study with him or her about this area, then do that. And that actually reminds me that I wanted to share some scriptures on putting to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature, sexual immorality, impurity. That could cover a lot of different things. Lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. And that is Colossians 3, verse 5. And that's the New International Version. I'm going to read it again. Put to death. That means kill it inside you. Don't let it live. Don't let it operate. Put to death whatever belongs to your earthly nature. And then it lists what those are: sexual immorality, impurity, which is what I would say those posts that the woman on Facebook is doing. Those are impure posts. They're always about sex or about the man's member doing stuff. Sometimes they're jokes, impure jokes. I mean, it's just crazy and out there. Lust, evil desires, which I would like to do a study on what they mean by evil desires, because you're already talking about sexual immorality, which already covers sexual activity, impurity, lust, and then you say evil desire. So what could that entail? What do you think it does? Put it in the chat. And greed, that's a whole nother area, which is idolatry. So this is saying that that's even idolatry. What is the definition of idolatry? This is what Webster says: the worship of idols, extreme admiration, love, or reverence for something or someone. So basically, it's putting that thing before what God has said. It's putting that thing before God, because you know what God has said, and you're putting that thing above what the Lord said. There are many, many scriptures. Ephesians 2 also talks about controlling yourself, not gratifying the cravings of our flesh or following its desires and thoughts. It says you were deserving of wrath when you did these things. But it also talks about temptation. Oh, and my pastor in the message about It's a Trap talked about temptation and overcoming temptation. And we all go through these same struggles. If you're normal, so recognize that it's normal, but also recognize that you have the power to overcome it. And why do you want to overcome it? Not just because the word says it and because the Lord desires that and because you have the Holy Spirit that's already convicting you while you're trying to do these things, but also because you want to be married and to have a good relationship with your spouse. So you want to learn how to control this area so that you have control of that area even after you're married. There are some men, for some reason, who think they can just live all wild and crazy, and that the minute they get married, all of a sudden, they're going to be this man of self-control. And then they learn that that's not what happens. You did not exercise control ever in that area. So even though you're married now and you have a partner that you're able to do everything with whenever you want, you're still unable to control yourself in that area with other people because you never learned how to do it. So you want to learn how to be in control of your body in all ways right now. And for you ladies and for the men, you want to make sure that number does not get any higher before you get to the one that is going to be your mate. So stop all that, jumping into bed with people. No, that's not God's will for you. That's not God's design for you. It's definitely not God's design for marriage. You should have as few partners as possible before you get to your marriage. And I know you have lived the opposite way, especially men. You were trying to get as many partners before you commit to that one person forever. You're like, let me sow my wild oats. Let me experience all of this. It didn't serve you well. It's not going to serve you well. So stop it. You are in control of what you do. And you can stop at any time. So stop it right now. And you're going to have to give account one day. Some of you are like, yeah, I did my dirt. Yeah, you did your dirt. And you're going to have to stand before God about the dirt that you did to those women. It's not good. Or the dirt that you did to the men if you're a woman. So let's not do this. Let's not play with anybody. Let's not be hopping into anybody's beds, or having people in your bed. We're going to do this the right way now. And that is to wait on the Lord. Wait until He has put you with the right person. You have recognized that this is the right person. They have recognized that you are the right person. And you are getting engaged, getting married. And then you can do all you want. All right. Is that all I wanted to say about this topic of exercising self-control? Oh, yeah, I did want to say, men really do want to see women deny them. And that's not something that they are seeing these days, and it hurts them. They want to believe that there are virtuous women out there who are not, what's the word? Who have, excuse me, who are confident in themselves, who know their worth, know their value, and know that a man will just use them and keep it moving. They want women who will say, no, we're not doing that. I'm not going there with you. No, you can't come over to my house. No, you can't even see my bedroom. I don't know you like that. I'm not having you over here. No, you can't come in. They really do desire to, even the bad ones, even the ones who are trying to go there with you, respect and admire the women who say no and who won't let them feel all over them and touch them and say inappropriate things. It's like, because in this day and age, maybe 8 women will allow you to do all that and have sex with them. And then the 2 that don't, you're like, oh my gosh, there really still are women out there who value their bodies, who respect their values, who respect their bodies, and who have standards and boundaries. They're seeing that so little these days that when they finally do come across one, they're like, oh my gosh, here's one. And that's a shame. That is a shame. And then on the flip side, women are so used to men just, being dogs and trying to instantly get them into bed. When they finally meet a guy who's not doing that, then they're like, is there something wrong with him? Unfortunately, this is what goes through our mind. We're like, okay, does he like me? Or is he gay? Or, what? We have seen it so rarely that we are questioning. But men, don't let that deter you. Just continue to be the upstanding, godly man that you are. I had a friend helping me do something at my RV on the grounds, and we were going to go out to eat. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go get change. And I went into my RV, and I was actually still gathering the trash and doing some other things. And the next thing I know, he had closed the door close the RV door because he thought I was changing. So he was trying to give me privacy. I wasn't ready to actually change yet, but I really respected that he, wasn't trying to peek in there. He didn't even want anybody to accidentally be able to see me changing. He made sure that the screen was closed and the door to the RV was closed. I thought that was sweet. But yes, continue to be upstanding citizens of the kingdom and walk in your virtue. And no matter what people are saying about it or accusing you of being gay or weird or backwards or nerdy or whatever they want to say about it, it doesn't matter. You are pleasing the Lord, and that is the important part. It is the important thing. And you are sticking true to your values. And the woman of God that you finally meet will be appreciative of that and be glad that you held yourself this way for her. All right, so I know this is not going to be a popular video because I told you not to be crazy with your eating, to get control over that, your diet. And I told you to exercise self-control and not to be letting your hormones run all wild and just self-pleasuring at the drop of a hat. Get that under control too. So it's okay if you're shaking your head and saying, I don't think I can do that. You can do it. You can do it. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So you have to call upon his strength in order to do these things. Gluttony is real. I know. I love desserts, and I have had to cut out desserts until the weekend. So, all right, this has been Kiki Strickland, the Matchmaker and Dating Coach, on exercising self-control in your life, all areas of your life. Come on back for more. Happy dating.